Hello everyone, it's Andrew from Living Home Loans. I'm very excited to bring you this little get-together, little Q&A today with my special guest. And it's our first get-together in the new boardroom here at Living Home Loans, Coolangatta. So very exciting, and I'm very excited to have Lani, who's come along. She's the director of White Credit Clean, and they are a credit repair company that our business uses quite a lot of, because it's a service that is really helpful for our clients. And Lani, would you like to explain to our audience what you actually do?
Yes, so White Credit Clean is credit repair or credit restoration. So what we do is we remove disputable defaults, court judgments, clear outs, writs, summons. We repair repayment history and can remove disputable inquiries. We've been running for about 4 years now.
That's a long list of things that you do.
Yes,
so
that's
you're
correct.
obviously very busy with that.
Yes.
Now, I'm familiar with what goes on. We use a service like this for some of our clients. Obviously, some are not in this situation. But
Yes.
you know, what commonly, why do people need to use this type of service?
So they can get a better interest rate, so they can refinance their current loans that they've got, so they can get access to simple things in life like a mobile phone plan or a new utilities account. The effect of having bad credit is, a sentence of 5 to maybe 7 years. So there's definitely a lot of clients that do have bad credit. I mean, we're looking at about 1 to 4 Australians currently have bad credit, so it's quite high.
and so typically, I think perhaps people watching this, they might think, well, typically bad credit might be that they've gone bankrupt or that sort of thing, but you're talking a bit more about something not quite as drastic as that, but it can still be a problem for them?
Yeah, correct. So it could be something as simple as a utility account for $300. Or it could be something dramatic as a dispute with their strata management for a property that they own, for unpaid land rates. It could be city council, it could be, a credit card, a business loan, it could be anything. The only thing that I can't remove is bankruptcy. So that definitely stays on there for 5 years.
Yeah, well, that's not so good, is it?
No.
We actually find from time to time that when we're working with our clients that they've told us that we've got a credit card with a 5,000 limit and a credit card with a 3,000 limit, and then we put the deal in with the lender, and the lender comes back and says, I'd like to know more about this $10,000 credit limit from 2012, which we know nothing about. So it's interesting how people probably don't know a lot about what goes on in their credit stuff. I mean, can you perhaps tell us a little bit about the likes of there's always inquiries on their credit file, which have $0 attached to it, for example. What's that relate to?
So it depends on who it is. Normally it'll be like a telecommunication or utilities, because it's a zero amount. It could be a lender just checking their file and putting an inquiry in, which is obviously, once they do that, it does reduce the score. So please don't do that. I would recommend for you to get your client to just obtain their own credit report and then give it to you. There's, with the stating like the inquiries and the zero, just keep in mind that with the score, because obviously the score is quite important, it's not as important as not having a default, etc. But with the inquiry basis, the score is based off, strongly is based off the last 12 to 24 months on an Equifax file. So if you've got something from, Origin or a credit card that they tried to get through Amex for $40,000 in 2016, it's not going to dramatically affect their score, but obviously it depends on the credit team if they're going to take that into consideration or not.
Yeah, sure. Now, some people love cleaning for a living, and other people love racing motor vehicles, and other people love being accountants.
Yes.
Why do you love what you do?
I love credit repair. The amount of people's circumstances and lives that I've been able to change in a short period of 30 to 60 days is something that people dream of. Like the opportunities that I get to give people and families and like parents with newborns. I mean, we could talk about a client that I had the other day. She was, a single mom, 3 kids, and she had a default on her file, which I knew would be an easy fix for me. I knew that I would have a successful outcome, but she couldn't afford it. I do a lot of free work. I ended up fixing her file for free. She ended up being able to refinance her Money 3 loan for her vehicle, which was 10 grand, to a lower interest rate, and saved herself $600 a month.
Wow.
And when you're a single parent with 3 children, that's a lot of money. So it's more of, it's got nothing to do with the, like, obviously everyone's in business to make money, but my main purpose is changing clients' circumstances.
Yeah, well, that's an amazing situation. I mean, and the fact that we don't want to advertise that you're doing that sort of, as part of your.
That's my choice. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we do some live jobs at times, but you mentioned that one a little bit. Can you give an example of perhaps a recent story where it's what I'd maybe call a horror story that turns into a fairy tale?
Sure. So I had a client. A client that went. 2 people went into the mortgage. The wife, which was my client, didn't speak very good English. When they did the mortgage application, they got the home loan, there was a credit card added. She wasn't aware that she was actually on the credit card. The husband had used the credit card up to about $30,000 and then not paid it back. So they didn't have a default, they had really bad repayment history for about 12 months. So it severely affected her credit file. So we lodged a complaint. So I did the investigation process into it. Bank of Melbourne pretty much just stated that they hadn't done anything wrong. I went to the AFCA and I lodged the complaint. And the AFCA told me that I didn't have a very strong case and told me not to lodge it. I proceeded to ask for the final stages, went through to the final stages. Not only did I win the case, I got the entire account, the repayment history, and my client was refunded, or not refunded, sorry, the debt amount of $30,000 was wiped.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's fantastic.
Yeah, you just got to fight.
You
have to fight.
And some people would just be in that despair situation, thinking everything is turned to a big mess, and you've managed to become the Cape Crusader that's fixed it. That's lovely to hear that story. So you mentioned before about the helping people, and that's not helping them from a not costing them, but normally that would be in your business side of things. Is it expensive for people to fix these problems?
I believe that my fees are affordable.
Yep.
I try to keep them reasonable. I do charge around $1,200 for one default. It's different if we're talking about different listings, but I offer my clients payment plans. And if I do give discounts where I can, if I feel as though the client needs it, I will do it.
And I think in terms of dollars, it's not so much the dollars that it's cost for your service, which is obviously a very valued service. It's what is it going to cost them to not get it fixed. Yeah,
100%. And I'm not here to force anybody to fix their own bad credit, but a lot of consumers need a good old slap. Like, they need to realize that you don't have any other options. You need to stop digging a deeper hole and just live with the reality of you're going to have to make it work. And it's a sacrifice that some people may need to, I'm not going to go and buy alcohol this week, and I'm going to pay off Lonnie's invoice of $50 each week so that I can make sure that I can have that dream and have things for me and my family, etc. So I've got a client at the moment who situation he's not he hasn't used your services or a service like yours, and because of the technicality that being put on the file, his hands are tied, he can't make any changes. And some people are sitting there going, well, I'll get it fixed, but if you don't have the professional skills that you've got to do that, they're going to find that that's going to continue to be an issue for time to come. Yeah, like every consumer can try and do it on their own. I'm not saying that they can try, but it's the same as going to, a plumber. You go to them because they're a profession in that industry. You can always try and do the plumbing yourself, but it's not going to turn out very good.
You can represent yourself in court on your own, but
you
might end up with a bit of a jail sentence that doesn't work. Lani, it's been lovely catching up with you.
Yes, thank you for having
me. Where and how can people contact you if they want to use your services as such?
So you can contact me. It's whitecreditcleaning.com.au. I am on LinkedIn, so it's just Lani Spilsbury. Once obviously Andrew puts up this video, I can comment underneath and you guys can reach out if you have any questions. please ask away.
Fantastic. Well, it's been wonderful to have you, Lani,
Thank
to
you.
be our first person, first professional business in the new boardroom. And once again, as Lani just said, reach out if you've got any questions. We love what she does and has helped many of our clients, and hopefully this is something that can be helpful to you and your clients. So thanks, and until next time.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.